What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be making my first video on this channel, and as you probably already read on the title, it is the game of Hangman, and I will be using Python to program it. So first things first, I have this words.txt file, and this file contains over 200 words. So we'll be using this file to pull a word, and that's going to be the word that the user is going to guess. So in order for us to do this, we first need to be able to open this file, be able to read it, and then be able to create a list that contains all of these words. So we first need to open that file. So we'll go with open and then the file name words.txt as file. So now that we have it open, we could go ahead and create a list with all of these words in it. So we could do words equals file dot, and we could use the read lines method. And what this method does is it goes through each line on this file, and then it grabs the item on each line and creates an item in a list. So I could show you this. We could go ahead and print words, and it did exactly what we thought it would do. So it grabbed each letter on the words file, each word on the words file, and then it added it to a list. But the only thing that it did, which we don't need, is it added these two characters at the end, so the slash n. We don't want that. So in order for us to fix that, we could do words equals, we could use the strip method. So do word.strip, so strip each word and word. So for every word in words, we're going to strip the word. What does the strip method do? It's going to get rid of these two characters, which is essentially what we want. So now if we print it, words. Okay. So now if we print it, it does exactly that. Now all we have displayed is the words. So we have a list with all the words. Now that we have a list with all the words, we can select a random word from that list. So we first need to import random, import the random module, and then create a variable called selected word, assign it a random word from the list. So we could do random.choice and put word. So it's gonna choose a random word from the list of words. So now if we print selected word, it's gonna choose a random word. So every time we run our code, it is a random word, and that is what we want. So now that we have a random word, we're able to start the game. So before we do that, let's go ahead and create something that the user could see. So in a game of Hangman, usually someone thinks of a word and then writes down some placeholder. So if it's a 5-letter word, we would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the user will be able to, or the person that's guessing would know that it's a 5-letter word, and then they'll be able to guess letters in that word. So if they guess A, and A is the first letter in that word, then we will replace this placeholder and add an A. If they guessed E, and E is the last letter in the word, then we will replace this placeholder with the letter E, and so on and so forth. So we want to do something like that for the user so that it could be more user friendly, and then the user could have a real feel of the game. So we could do that by doing a word creator. And first we're gonna assign it just an empty list, but essentially what we want is for every letter in our selected word for a placeholder to be added into this word creator. So we could do for letter in selected word, we're gonna append. So word creator, we're gonna append this placeholder. So now if we print selected word, and if we print word creator, you'll see word creator dot append. Okay, so the random word is selected is pajama, and then it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters. So then it should have 6 placeholders, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. So then the user will be able to see this, even though once we create the game, we'll get rid of these quotes and um, brackets. So that way the user would only see these placeholders, kind of like what I said in the beginning. It'll be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what the user will see. And then once they guess a letter, and then the letter is actually in the word, then the placeholder will be replaced with the actual letter. So now that we have that, we're able to start programming our game. So one of the rules in this game is you get only X amount of tries. So for this game, we're gonna give the user 5 tries. So tries equals 5, and then we're gonna use this as a counter. So if the user guesses a letter that's not in the word, then they're gonna lose a try. So 4. If they lose another, if they guess another letter which is not in the word, then it's gonna keep decreasing the number of tries until they get to 0, and then the game is over. So they're gonna start off with 5 tries. Okay, so now that we have that, we could start actually programming our game. So we need to ask the user for some to guess a letter. So we need to get some user input. So before we do that, we need to make sure that we keep asking the user to guess a letter as long as they have tries. So as long as this is not 0, and as long as there's still letters to be guessed. Because if there's no letters to be guessed, then that means that they guessed all the letters and they won. So let's do while so while there's still placeholders in word creator and you have tries, so tries is greater than 0, then let's go ahead and ask the user for some input. So we're gonna do guess a letter, and then we're gonna do letter guessed, so that then we could use this to start doing some to start seeing if the letter that they guessed is actually in the word. So we need to store the letter that they or the user input into this letter guessed variable. But before we do that, we want to make sure we show the user this. So we want to make sure we show them the amount of letters that they need to guess, just like in the real game. So we could do print. Let's go ahead and just print the word creator, which is contains those placeholders. But if we were to print this, then it would only print this. So it'll print the list. That's not what we want. We want it to be to have like an actual nice user-friendly interface. So for us to get rid of these brackets and quotes, we're gonna use dot join. So let's do dot join, and we're gonna join basically. We're just gonna do a blank space. So what this does is it gets rid of this, and then whatever is in here is gonna divide each of the items in the list. So for example, in our word creator, all we have is these items, which are just the placeholders, which are underscores. So it's gonna divide each one of them by a space. So then it's gonna look something like this, like we have been saying. So we're gonna show the user that, and then we're gonna let the user know also how many tries they have left. So just let them know. We'll do an F string because we need to show them tries, which is this right here. And then we could do you have this amount of tries. And then it's gonna do that and ask them to guess a letter. Alright, so now that we have that, we need to check if the letter is actually in the word or not, and then we need to do something if it is and if it's not. So if letter guessed in selected word, if that letter is in the selected word, or you know what, let's do first not. If letter not in, not in selected word, then what we need to do is we need to make sure that they lose a try. So then it's going to be minus equals to 1. So it's going to take away a try that they have. All right, so what if it is? So what if the letter that they guessed is in the selected word? So what if that letter is actually part of the word that they're trying to guess? Then what we need to do is replace this placeholder with the letter so that the word creator is creating the word for them and they're able to see that on the screen. So in order for us to do that, we first need to get the index. Where is that letter in the selected word? So is it at index 0? Is it at index 1? And so on. So first we need to pull that from the index. So we could do something like for index in range. So we need to go through each index in the selected word. So through each letter in the selected word. So we got to do length selected word. So for every index, and then if letter guessed, so if the letter that they guessed is at that index, equals selected word index, then we need to go to the that same index in the word creator. So we could do word creator index, and it's going to be replaced, whatever's there, which is a placeholder, is going to be replaced with the actual letter that was guessed. So then it's going to run through that, through each letter, and see if it needs to be replaced with the actual letter. All right, so now that we have that, we know what we're able to do if the user guesses a letter that is not in the selected word, and if the user guesses a letter which is in the selected word. So now what we need to do is we need to determine when the game is over, whether they ran out of tries or whether they guessed all of the letters and they won. So first we could do if tries is equal to 0, so if they have no more tries left, then we need to print game over. You lost. Ha ha ha. No, let's just do game over. And then we're gonna also let them know what the word was because we want them to know. So we're gonna do, there's gonna be an F string. The word was, and then we'll just display the selected word. Okay, so now what if they guessed all the letters? What if they guessed all the letters and they won? So then we could do if there's no placeholders in word creator, meaning the word creator now displays all of the letters in the word, which means, you know, they guessed all the correct letters. Then what we need to do is print you won, and that is all. I think that's the end of the game. So let's go ahead and run this, make sure it works. So guess a letter. You have 5 tries. So let's go ahead and guess. So A, S, let's do N, M. So we suck at this game. Wow, W. Okay, so the word was blizzard. Game over because we ran out of tries. All right, so now we know that this works because they have 5 tries in the beginning, and then they had no more tries. So hold on, I'm noticing something. You have 5 tries, guess the letter. So we guessed A. Okay, so A was part of the was part of it, so we still have 5 tries left, and then it told us again you have 5 tries. Okay, so yeah, it's running, it's going fine. So we have 5 tries, and then 4, 3, 2, 1, and then game over. All right, so now for us to be able to test be able to test that whenever we do guess all of the letters, let me go ahead and cheat a little bit. So let's print the selected word. Oops, selected word. and then let's run it. So selected word is buzzwords. So let's go ahead and guess all of that. Buzzwords. There you go. You won. So that's basically what we want. The game is running. The game is working. So yeah, that is all, guys. If you like the video, go ahead and like it, subscribe to my channel, check out my GitHub, and yeah, just let me know if there's any other videos that you guys would like me to do. Good night.